there. My name's Angela. I'm making a quick video here for people that have diabetes, pre-diabetes, and they're interested in fasting. So maybe you've never fasted before, you've heard about it, you've heard that it could possibly help you. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and give you tips on how to get started if you're interested. So a couple of the reasons why people with diabetes or pre-diabetes would want to do a form of fasting is because it's great for actually helping to lower um, cholesterol, LDL cholesterol. It really helps with insulin resistance. So insulin resistance is when your body has to put out insulin to get the sugar out of your blood and into your cells, but your cells are being stubborn, locking up the door, and they don't want to let the sugar in. So, fasting is something that can help your cells open up and become a little bit more sensitive to the insulin that your body makes. And this is really an important key in preventing diabetes or even in reversing diabetes. So I just wanted to give you a little rundown. So there's when people think of fasting, really there's two things that can be done. So there's time restricted feeding, and this is probably the most popular. You've heard people talk about 16 and 8. Um, but time restricted feeding is probably the easiest and most popular. And then there's also intermittent fasting. And I would say probably the most popular of that is maybe the 5 and 2, where you go 5 days eating normally, and then 2 days you have a severe calorie deficit where you only maybe 25% of your total calorie needs for the day. So I want to focus today on the time restricted feeding because I think it's the easiest. And I'll just give you a couple things to help set you up for success if you want to try it. So, first thing is, you only have to do it like 80% of the time, 80% adherence. Just got to get a B. That's not bad, right? I say that with a lot of things like quality of food in a day. If you can 80% of the time get it right, you're in a good place. Pick a 10 to 11 hour feeding window. And kind of think of your family schedule, what might work best. There have been some studies that show that when people with prediabetes or diabetes do an earlier feeding window, what that means is maybe they break their fast at maybe 7 or 8 in the morning, and they start their fast maybe 4 or 5 in the evening, that they get better results. So, really, you only get results if you do it. So if that feeding window doesn't work for you, so be it. So try to pick a 10 to 11 hour feeding window in your day that works best for you. And then the other thing to think about is, and this is just for overall gut health and immune function, and just so you don't get acid reflux, I usually tell people to try to cut off eating or wrap up their eating by about 3 hours before they go to bed. So those are some important things to think about when you're going to try either time restricted feeding or an early time restricted feeding. So family, social issues, what time's everybody eating dinner, and are you going to be sitting there drinking water? That might not be the greatest plan. So definitely something to think about. Last but not least is weight loss. That's a really big thing that people always talk about with intermittent fasting or time restricted feeding. And it doesn't always happen, I'll be honest. Some people will lose a few pounds doing it. Some people are wildly successful, but not everybody. And you know what? That's not necessarily the goal, because all of those other things, the insulin resistance, the lowering the LDL, lowering the triglycerides, all of those things are really important, and actually just reversing the disease, or at least stopping the progression. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you again.